Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the latest conversation in gaming has to do with Skull and Bones. And I made one video about Skull and Bones prior that a lot of you guys seemingly saw. And I'm making a couple of follow-up videos to talk about what's going on with Skull and Bones. Now, with Skull and Bones, this is not some woke nonsense like what happened with Suicide Squad. This is something totally different. This is a complete lack of management. If anything, it is a massive amount of mismanagement happening with Skull and Bones when they had the easiest job in the world, and that was just to recreate a live service version of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I've made a huge mistake.
So we have an article here from Forbes with a headline that reads, a 30-second Skull and Bones video that negates 11 years of development. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Skull and Bones, and this is the thing I make fun of the most, honestly, when it comes to this game. Skull and Bones was in development for 11 years. 11 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's insane. There is no video game that should be in development for 11 years looking like this absolute trash fire that is Skull and Bones. Graphically speaking, gameplay speaking, everything speaking, it is completely lacking. So let's get into this article, guys, from Forbes. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button, man. I would greatly appreciate it. We're on our way almost to 32,000 subscribers. You guys have been killing it. Thank you so much. And like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says Ubisoft's fabled Skull and Bones releases tomorrow, 11 years of development and half a dozen delay later. The pirate ship game has been described as a quadruple A by Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, but after an open beta, reactions have been okay to mixed to bad at best, and it's not looking great for the game. Now, this is something that we roasted multiple times on Hypnocast, our live stream every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. The fact that the CEO actually had the balls to call this game a quadruple A, not a double A, not a triple A quadruple A game, and he actually said that. That's not clickbait. He literally said that this game is a quadruple A game. That is something that has never and will never come out from Ubisoft. I think it's literally impossible for Ubisoft to create anything that's even close to a quadruple A game, in my opinion. They might spend quadruple A money, which is something totally different. If you spend the amount of money, that's on you. But I don't think they're going to be able to recoup the cost from their supposed quadruple A game. So it says, I think there is a single video that sums up the issue with Skull and Bones, which has undergone many reworks over time. One of the core debates was whether to let players play as a pirate, full Assassin's Creed 4 style, or to make combat almost entirely just in a ship. They chose the latter, and this is now what it looks like when you win a battle and board a ship in Skull and Bones. This was the biggest mistake they could have made, in my opinion. The fact that you actually cannot go onto someone else's pirate ship and attack people or whatever the case may be, that is a huge selling point, in my opinion, for any Pirates game. Why would you take that out of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which it should have been in Skull and Bones? You decided to take that out and focus on the ships. I understand it's a pirate game. Obviously, the ship gameplay and the ship mechanics should be great, but that should not be the only thing. That's so stupid. Why would you make that the only thing when you clearly have the ability and you clearly have the content to be able to sell melee combat on pirate ships? It's just crazy to me. So let's watch this video, guys. It's about a 30-something second clip showcasing what it's like to play Skull and Bones. And I'm sure you guys who maybe haven't played it yet will totally be sold to play this game. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Well, it's not really working. All right, I'll just rock with this. Let's press play.
Captain, let us be there. We are dead meat!
Hey, stop him! Use them no guns, what name? We now have what was there!
Oh shit, there's Christians in the side project,
So that's basically the entire clip. Now, this clip is funny to me because you can see the player at the end kind of questioning with their mouse movements, like, what the hell just happened? Did I really just spend my time doing that to not even be able to board the ship and get into melee combat? That is boring. This entire thing is boring. 32 seconds of absolute snooze fest. And anybody going to play this game expecting to have a pirate experience, I'm sorry, it doesn't look like you're getting that. And it's sad because you could have easily just implemented what you already had. Think about this, right? You got this inciting moment where you're you're having a big old pirate battle. You're fighting on against each other's ships, and all of a sudden you have a boarding commence, and then it's just a cutscene. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a cutscene. That's boring. This entire thing is boring. It says this is it. This is really all you need to know about the decade-long history of this game. They clearly made the wrong call when it comes to the base concept. Assassin's Creed 4 being turned into a full pirate game was such an easy win. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All you had to do was just take Black Flag and turn it into a live service game and expand upon it. Why would you take Black Flag and cut it in half and then release it as a live service game? I'll tell you why. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ubisoft, right? Forget the wokeness as a company. Forget all that bullshit. This company is focused on one thing and one thing only, like most of these Western developers, and that's nickel and diming you. They probably took out the melee combat so that they can resell it to you down the line as an expansion pack. That is how I'm feeling about this game right now, because there's no reason why you would cut content in half only to then resell it as some sort of live service game. I guarantee you they were going to introduce it as an expansion or some sort of patch or some sort of DLC or whatever word you want to use later down the line. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that. It's so stupid, man. It really is. It says Assassin's Creed 4 being turned into a full pirate game was such an easy win, and yet now that we've come up with is a game where you can't even do one of the coolest things from that game, which is manually board a ship, fight everyone on deck, and take it over. It's a cutscene, always a cutscene. The decision-making process behind Skull and Bones should be studied in a lab, as I have no idea how all of this time and energy went into a game that ended up being boat-based battles and little else. While I get making games is complicated, this situation does not feel complex in the least. Assassin's Creed 4 was a massive hit, mostly because it was the most compelling pirate game ever made at the time. Now we have seen years of Sea of Thieves becoming a long-term success, albeit with a cartoony art style and none of the brutality of more realistic pirate games. All Ubisoft had to do was free the pirate concept from the Assassin's Creed franchise and just make a giant pirate game. Sea battles, but also swashbuckling and dueling and treasure hunting and fortress building, whatever else you can ask for. Instead, they chose this ship multiplayer live service route. Honestly, this could still have worked as a multiplayer live service game, as I think you could still accomplish those goals with literal pirates, not just ships. I mean, this is exactly what Sea of Thieves has done, but instead we have this, and unless you are extremely into naval combat alone, this game is not going to be for you. And that's the thing, man. Like, I guess people were expecting Skull and Bones to be an online version of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Whether you want to say that's a smart thing to think or not, I'm going to leave that up to you. But I do think it's ridiculous that they clearly had the fucking content to make this happen. They had the ability to do it. They had all the assets already. All they had to do was retextualize them, put them out into a live service game, and make it happen. That's it. They had 11 years. Are you fucking kidding me? 11 years. You know what happens? Like, how much happens within 11 years of real world time? Do you know how many things have happened over the last 11 years, ladies and gentlemen, that you seriously could not just make a live service version of Black Flag? You totally fucked up. Somebody here in this development team is a terrible manager and leader, and it's probably all of them. Let's be real. This is a terribly mismanaged game. This is a terribly handled game, a terribly handled service, and it's not going to get any better in my opinion. And let me be honest with you. If it does get better, if all of a sudden they have melee combat, they have this, they have all the stuff that was in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then one of two things must be true, right? Probably both, honestly. Either they were so lazy, they didn't want to put it out and it was terribly mismanaged at the beginning that they couldn't put it out, or they're going to try to sell it to you and people are unfortunately going to be stupid enough to pay the DLC price in order to get melee combat in Skull and Bones. So only time is going to tell what's going to happen with this game. But as I said, I got plenty of articles coming out about this particular game. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.